Before I started doing TV, I was an independent designer, builder, and also a finish carpenter. So, I mean, I did everything from like handy woman work. I had a cargo van filled with tools, and I would do finish carpentry at residential clients while I was getting my design build studio up and running. And then I took on larger and larger projects. I started with custom furniture for residential clients, and then worked my way up to, interior design build projects for commercial projects. The business model on all the makeover shows is unique to that show. I've worked on some where the production company pays for the entire makeover, and I've worked on some, like for instance, Fix This Yard is a mix. The homeowner will kick in a little bit of money, and then our sponsor, Home Depot, contributes more money, and then we have production budget money. So those three sources plus product placement and then my free labor means that a homeowner who might kick in $3,000 for a front yard makeover will get a $30,000 makeover. Well, I'm a particular fan of American hardwoods because I like that they are, sourced and they're forested really, really responsibly. They're managed in a way that's very sustainable. Hardwoods themselves, store carbon, and they're non-toxic and very, socially equitable. There's just everything about them is good. But what I really, really like about them is they're organically beautiful. They have depth of character. They age really well, and they're extremely durable. So the things that, when I design and build original one-of-a-kind pieces of furniture, I don't want this thing to end up in the landfill. I want it to be handed down from generation to generation. So the type of material that's gonna last that long is hardwood. So I had a show on the DIY network called Freeform Furniture where I designed and built original pieces of furniture. And I used a lot of mixed materials. I was really excited about showing the viewer how to build furniture out of a number of different materials, like plastic and upholstery, but my favorite all-time material is hardwood, because there are so many different ways you can machine it, and there are so many exciting new ways that you can join it and make modern furniture with it. So there's traditional woodworking, right? But then there's bent lamination and steam bending and vacuum forming or vacuum lamination. And wood, if you cut it in the right configuration, whether it's a sheet of veneer all the way to a stick of lumber, you can make it do whatever you want it to do. And it's absolutely the most sensuous material there is. Well, hardwood is obviously a really great choice for flooring because it's so dense and so durable, and it'll last forever. I mean, we do some renovations on 150-year-old buildings, and they've still got wood floors, and you can refinish them. You can't do that with a 150-year-old carpet, usually. They don't last that long. So I really love the density and the durability of hardwood, plus it just stays good looking. It's so gorgeous. So I love using hardwoods for furniture, but they're also really great in residential and office settings. One, because they're fantastic for acoustics and sound dampening. They really improve the sound quality in a room. Not only that, but they warm up a space. They have a lot of organic interest, if you're finishing it naturally. But even painted, it's a material we can all relate to. It's like skin. So you never want a room that's too cold and sterile, unless it's a hospital room. And if you don't want it to look like a hospital, but you want your office to look like a living room. You want your living room to look like a place you want to spend a lot of time in. To do that, you need to warm it up with wood. Okay, if you're putting your house on the market and you want to jack up the resale value, probably the most important thing you can do is update the kitchen. New countertops and appliances are a good bet that you'll get what you put into that out in the resale value, maybe even twice that. If you put in new cabinetry, you can get a lot more. A new kitchen's gonna get you a lot of resale value. Also the front yard and the front of the house. A nice fence, good looking shutters, cleaned up lawn, all of that stuff makes a big first impression. After that, I'd say bathrooms. Well, everybody loves walking into a home and finding out it's got hardwood floors, right? Nobody wants to buy a house with somebody else's creepy old carpet in it that's got stains and stuff from that life. They want hardwood floors. Hands down, if you put on the listing that the house has hardwood floors, you will get more people coming to look at the house. Hardwood floors. Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm an expert on sustainability necessarily, but I look into these things because I'm a designer and I care about it. And I know that hardwoods are owned, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're owned primarily by smaller, not big foresting corporations, but smaller communities and families, and they're forested very responsibly, and the trees are typically harvested when they're ready. They're not clear cut. So my understanding of it is that the forest itself, you know, stores carbon, which is a greenhouse gas, and then the logging or the timber industry is able to use a lot of its own biofuel to sustain that industry and transport the material. So, and then the timber products that we use in renovations and furniture and new construction, that all stores carbon as well. And not to mention, it's a completely organic, natural material that doesn't, you know, I mean, because it's not a big corporate forest, they're not using fertilizers. I mean, it's just, so it's completely recyclable, but it's hardwood, so it's durable. It'll last generations, like trees. Trees are hundreds of years old. Well, the wood species that I recommend for home interiors depends really on your style, and it's pretty case specific. If you have a light challenged home and you want to reflect a lot more light, I would say pick something that's blonde, like an ash or hickory is gorgeous for furniture. But if you want to add a little depth and sophistication to, say, wall paneling, go with a walnut paneling. That's distinguished. And then, you know, in terms of your hardwood floors, I think it's really got to go with your personality.